All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into the world of Harlan Coben.
Ooh, fun.
I've been kind of obsessed with his latest Netflix series, Missing.
Yeah.
And I've been reading all these viewer reactions and like behind-the-scenes insights.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, it's pretty fascinating how he's made the jump from, page to screen so successfully.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
Yeah.
He's been a best-selling author for over 35 years now.
Wow.
Sold over 80 million copies.
Wow.
Yeah. And his books have been translated into 46 languages.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's amazing that kind of staying power in the world of thrillers is really something.
It really is. And he's not like just churning out books either.
Right.
He's currently holding the top 2 spots on the UK paperback bestseller list.
Oh.
So clearly,
He knows
how to hook an audience.
Yes, and it's not just about churning out popular reads either.
Right.
He seems to really care about crafting, quality stories.
Yep.
He's won an Edgar Award, a Shamus Award, and an Anthony Award.
Wow.
Pretty much the trifecta of accolades in the mystery and thriller genre.
Yeah.
So you can see that he aims for both commercial success and critical acclaim.
Yeah, for sure. Which brings us to his rather cozy relationship with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
There were all these rumors of like a 14-series deal.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's a bit more open-ended than that.
It does, yeah. It seems like those initial reports were a bit exaggerated.
Okay.
Coben himself actually clarified that it's not about a set number of shows,
Right.
but more about a collaboration to produce
Okay.
a lot of shows.
He said that.
Yeah, and they're certainly living up to that promise. By the end of 2025, they'll have 12 shows, either released or in some stage of production.
Wow.
Which actually exceeds that initial speculation.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just about saturating the U.S. market either.
Right.
He's already got productions running in Poland, Spain, and France, with talks of a U.S. production in the pipeline.
I know, isn't that interesting? What I think is so interesting is how this global approach feeds back into his book sales.
Right.
Each time a new series drops on Netflix, his book sales skyrocket.
Really?
Regardless of where the show is produced,
Wow.
he's leveraging that massive Netflix audience of over 280 million subscribers
It's huge.
in almost 300 countries to introduce himself to new readers worldwide.
But it's a good strategy.
It's a brilliant strategy.
It's like a brilliant feedback loop.
It is.
Okay, so for those who might be new to the Coben-verse, what's the secret sauce here? What's drawing in viewers from all corners of the globe?
Well, it seems like one of the keys to his success is this formula of taking ordinary people and plunging them into extraordinary suspenseful situations.
Okay, so like Hitchcock meets Suburbia.
Yes.
I like
that. It's a good way to put it. And screenwriter Victoria S. R. Archer, who's adapting some of his work for Netflix, she describes it perfectly. She said, "He's a master at luring you into a false sense of security before taking you on a crazy journey."
That's good.
She actually got to experience a bit of that crazy journey herself when she flew out to meet him in New York.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, you mean when she visited his apartment in the Dakota building?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's quite the address.
It is. John Lennon lived there.
Wow.
And now Coben's right next door to Yoko Ono.
Oh my gosh, imagine the stories those walls could tell.
I know.
But getting back to the adaptations, it seems Coben is quite hands-on.
Oh, he is. He's very involved.
Okay.
He gives detailed notes and makes sure that his vision is faithfully translated to the screen.
Wow.
Sir Archer even mentioned that working with him was like a masterclass in storytelling.
Cool.
Yeah, she got to see how he meticulously crafts his plots, how he develops characters that feel real, and how he builds suspense that just keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. Totally. And speaking of people who know a thing or two about being on the edge of their seat,
Yes.
we have to talk about actor Richard Armitage.
Oh, yes, of course.
He starred in 4 of Coben's adaptations
He has.
and seems to have become Coben's good luck charm.
Yes, and they've developed a close friendship over the years.
That's cool.
What I find so fascinating is that Coben actually enjoys the challenge of finding new and different roles for Armitage to avoid typecasting him.
Oh, so it's not just about plugging the same actor into every adaptation.
No, not at all.
Okay.
There's a real desire to keep things fresh and interesting for both the actor and the audience.
For sure.
Yeah, it's about pushing those creative boundaries and exploring different facets of a character.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack the reactions to his newest series, Missing.
Okay.
It's definitely generating a lot of buzz, but not all of it's positive.
That's right. Some viewers are calling it immaculate and gripping,
Okay.
praising the complex characters and intricate plot twists. but others are finding it formulaic and criticizing the ending. It seems Coben isn't afraid to take risks, even if it means alienating some viewers.
Which is particularly interesting when you consider that Coben himself has described Missing You as his darkest show yet.
Wow.
And even admitted to shedding a tear during the final episode.
Really?
So are you ready to dive into the heart of what's making this series so polarizing?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Yeah. I think what makes this series so interesting is how it kind of reflects Coben's evolution as a storyteller. You know, he's not afraid to explore darker themes and push the boundaries of what audiences might expect from him.
Yeah, even though some viewers are like totally put off by the ending,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of refreshing that he's willing to take those risks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about playing it safe and delivering those same predictable twists every time.
Right, exactly. And it sparks debate
Yeah.
and discussion, which keeps the audience engaged long after the credits roll.
Right.
Speaking of those, oh my God, what's going to happen next moments,
Yeah.
I read that Richard Armitage, who's a crime writer himself, right?
Actually caught a forensic inconsistency during filming.
Oh yeah, I read about that too.
Yeah.
Apparently he noticed like this tiny detail about the evidence
Yeah.
that didn't quite add up, and he brought it to Coben's attention.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show how much attention to detail goes into these productions.
Yeah, and it's not just Coben being meticulous.
Right.
It's like he's got this whole team of people, including the actors,
Yeah.
who are committed to getting it right.
Totally. And that makes sense considering how closely Coben is guarding his legacy.
Yeah.
He's not just churning out content for Netflix. He's actively shaping how his stories are being told on screen.
Right.
And, you know, that raises an interesting question.
What's that?
Do you think this level of author involvement is essential for a successful adaptation?
Mm.
Or can a story thrive when it's handed off to, you know, other creative minds?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, the author knows the story inside and out.
So they can bring a certain level of authenticity to the adaptation.
Right.
But on the other hand, sometimes a fresh perspective from a director or screenwriter can breathe new life into a familiar tale.
Yeah, I think it depends on the author and the story.
Okay?
You know, some authors are very protective of their work
Right.
and want to be involved in every step of the adaptation process.
Yeah.
Others are happy to just kind of let go and trust the filmmakers to do their thing.
Totally.
Coben seems to have found a good balance.
Yeah, I agree.
He's clearly involved, but he also seems to respect the talents of the people he's working with.
For sure. And he's not just sticking to Netflix either.
Right?
He's got a new novel co-written with Reese Witherspoon coming out soon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
The book is called You Should Have Known,
okay.
and it's described as a twisted psychological thriller with a strong female lead.
Cool.
It's interesting to see how he's kind of branching out and collaborating with other creatives.
Yeah.
You know, it speaks to his willingness to explore new genres and reach different audiences.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder how much this collaboration is influenced by the world of streaming.
Yeah. Does he think they'll translate well to the screen?
Yeah.
Has the rise of streaming services like Netflix changed the way authors approach storytelling?
Totally.
Are they writing with one eye on the page and the other on the screen?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're creating prepackaged Hollywood pitches embedded within their novels.
I know.
But even with this potential shift in mindset, what do you think is the core element that keeps audiences coming back to Coben's work?
Well, whether it's in book form or on screen,
Mhm.
you know, I think it's that element of the unexpected.
Okay.
The way he can lure you into a seemingly familiar world and then suddenly flip everything on its head,
Right.
you know? He's a master at creating these believable characters facing extraordinary circumstances. And he does it with such precision and suspense that you just can't help but be drawn in.
Yeah. It's like watching your neighbor's seemingly perfect life implode,
Right.
and you're both horrified and utterly captivated.
Exactly.
And he's not afraid to delve into the darker aspects of human nature,
No, he's not.
exploring themes like betrayal, grief, and the lengths people go to protect their secrets.
But at the same time, he manages to infuse his stories with a sense of hope and redemption.
Yeah.
You know, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, there's always a glimmer of light.
For sure. And let's not forget his masterful use of twists and turns.
Oh, right.
He's always a few steps ahead of the audience,
Yeah.
keeping you guessing until the very end.
Right. But it's not just about shock value.
Yeah.
The twists feel organic to the story,
Yeah.
arising naturally from the characters and their motivations.
Right. And sometimes those twists, like the ending of Missing, can be quite divisive.
They can be.
But even if you don't agree with his choices, you have to admire his willingness to challenge conventions and provoke a reaction. It's not about spoon-feeding the audience a predictable resolution.
Right.
It's about leaving them with something to ponder long after the story ends.
Exactly, and that's what makes him such a compelling storyteller. He doesn't shy away from difficult themes or controversial endings.
Yeah.
He trusts his audience to engage with the material and come to their own conclusions.
That's cool, and he's not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, no, he's not.
In addition to the Witherspoon collaboration, he's also got another standalone thriller coming out called Nobody's Fool.
Wow, so it seems like we'll be deep diving into the world of Harlan Coben for many years to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this particular deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious to get your take on something.
Sure.
We've talked about how streaming services can boost book sales.
Yeah.
But what about the reverse?
Okay.
Do you think the future of publishing relies on creating content specifically designed to be adapted for the screen?
Ooh, that's a provocative thought. Are we moving towards a world where books are essentially blueprints for movies and TV shows?
Yeah, maybe in the future, publishing houses will have entire departments dedicated to pitching their novels to streaming giants.
Whoa.
Right.
Imagine a world where books come with their own built-in trailers and casting suggestions.
I know.
Yeah, it would certainly change the landscape of both publishing and entertainment.
Yeah.
And it raises a whole host of questions about creative control ownership and the evolving relationship between authors and the screen.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder if this potential shift will ultimately benefit or hinder the art of storytelling.
Yeah, those are all fascinating questions to consider. But for now, I think we've done a pretty thorough deep dive into the world of Harlan Coben.
Yeah, we have. And hopefully you're walking away with like a newfound appreciation for Coben's work.
Yeah.
Whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering his twisty tales.
Absolutely. And maybe you've picked up a few conversation starters along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine casually mentioning that you're familiar with an author who lives next door to Yoko Ono.
I know, right?
That's pretty cool.
Or that you like have insightful conversations about forensic science with Richard Armitage.
Yeah.
Well, at least in my head I do.
In your head.
But all jokes aside,
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting about Coben's success is that it's not just about luck or formulaic plots.
Right.
You know, he's clearly tapped into something that resonates deeply with audiences.
Yeah, that blend of ordinary people facing extraordinary circumstances, the masterful suspense, the relatable characters, and those like what's going to happen next moments.
Totally.
It's a winning combination.
It is. And he doesn't shy away from exploring the dark side of human nature either.
No, he doesn't.
Betrayal, grief, secrets.
Yeah.
These are themes that run through a lot of his stories.
We do.
But he always manages to offer that glimmer of hope.
He does.
A reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's a possibility for redemption.
And he's not afraid to take risks, even if it means alienating, a portion of his audience.
Right.
He's constantly pushing the boundaries of the genre.
Yeah.
Experimenting with different formats and platforms and collaborating with other creative minds.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even with a proven formula, there's always room for evolution and innovation. So as you delve into Missing You, or pick up his next novel, here's something to consider.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how Coben has adapted his work for the screen.
Right.
But what about the impact this adaptation-focused world has on the way stories are being written in the first place? Are authors now crafting their novels with one eye on the potential for a Netflix series?
It's a fascinating question to ponder.
It is.
Are we entering like a new era of storytelling where the line between page and screen becomes increasingly blurred?
Exactly. And as you get swept up in the suspense and intrigue of Coben's world, think about this.
Okay.
Is he shaping the future of storytelling? Or is the future of storytelling shaping him?
Ooh, I like that.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, this was fun.
We'll catch you next time.